What's up, punks? Today, I turned the Dark Souls trilogy and Elden Ring into Castlevania. But for now, we'll be playing Dark Souls 2.
Scholar of the First Sin.
To start this descent into Dark Souls 2, we'll be playing as one of Leon Belmont's descendants, Trevor C. Belmont. Trevor is known for being the first Belmont to defeat Dracula. Although his clan and family were excommunicated for the unnatural strength and power the Belmonts possessed, Trevor still accepted the quest of fighting evil in all its carnations, including Dracula. Although I'm a complete skunk ass at soulslike games, I still decided to accept the quest and play Dark Souls 2 for fun. Ugh, yuck! Gross! Some rules before we start. Whips only, no shields, no summons, and the only sub-weapons allowed are throwing knives. Enough with the nonsense. Let's start this run and begin peeling back the layers on this smelly turd.
Like the whole racist thing that Brennan's always on, but I did read something last night. No, okay, so I...
With my best recreation of Trevor, we picked the swordsman class for the high dex, and we picked the tiny being's ring as our starting gift. After rummaging through the things betwixt, we make a beeline to the Hyde's Tower of Flame, so we can beat the Dick Rider. After beating off we finish off after he shot on my back. Anyways, we talk to Alicia, who unlocks our new path to the Huntsman Copse, where I get the notched whip, and our run begins. A big thank you to Backlogs Lemon for his whips only video, because I honest to God had no idea where or how to get any whips in this godforsaken game. With our whip quickly secured, we can begin our silly little quest of vanquishing evil once more. On this crusade against all evil, we have a whopping 41 monsters to defeat, and with Dragon Rider and now the last giant done for, we have 39 left. Y'all better buckle in, buckaroos, cause we might be here a while. After halting the pursuer,
No, I'll get you.
I go back to Majula to seek last all my souls into Dex. On my way back to the Bastille, the pursuer gets me, just like he said he would. After he gets a hold of me, I tell him to pursue some bitches, so he can leave me the fuck alone. With that douche dealt with for the second time, I decide to fight the Beyblade Bandits, who spin to win my ass like a 2014 COD montage. With them knocked out of the Bay Stadium. Yes, it is called the Bay Stadium in the official World Beyblade Organization rulebook. Anyways, with those gyrations stopped, we move on to a familiar set of douches, the Belfry Gargoyles. But instead of 2, there's now 5. Now that those bastards are gargling on their defeat, time for the lost sinner to be found, and forgiven, but not by me. With the sinner sent to whatever god they believed in, we light the first primal bonfire and move on to the Sea of Thieves, where I raid the Flexhouse Sentry ship and steal their hard-earned treasure. I also steal their ship for the hell of it. Next, we fight the dragon that was guarding Orenstein. Then, we beat Orenstein. After beating that old bastard, we meet another old man who tells me I'm not shit. And after that, we meet an even older man who tells me I'm not shit as well. With this newfound anger, I do the only thing a blue-collar man can do in this situation. Grab a beer and beat my wife. Unfortunately, I don't have a beard. I also don't have a wife, so I do the next best thing and beat this guy's wife. With a nice cold Pepsi and calm nerves, I press on to the Royal Shit Rats authorities and whip these turds down the toilet. Next is the Prowling Sigma and his congregation of simps. After beating this dead horse, I go and fight another dead horse, and thanks to the Executioner's Chariot, I've gained an audience with the Skeleton Lords, who decreed that I should have my ass beat. Fortunately, these royal dicks can't throw hands to save their lives. Speaking of chumps, next is this fat chump, who goes down without a fight. Get a load of this fucking guy. Up next, we head to the Nickelodeon Slime Factory, where we fight Mytha, the Kids' Choice Award host. Unfathomably, this monster swapped the letters and said Sanji and Craig was the winner of the 2024 Kids' Choice Awards. I will not let this stand. I stopped her and got the real letter so we know who the real winner is. You fuck. And without further ado, the 2024 Kids' Choice Award goes to the classic 2004 to 2007 show Danny Phantom. With the rightful show awarded its rightful reward, rightfully, I head back to Majula, where I spend lots of my moolah and buy the Sinner's outfit and all 3 ladders that Gilligan's fat ass sells, just cause I got it like that. After an egregious amount of spending, I head through Blighttown 2.0 and fight the Rotten. With that smelly fucker taken care of, it's time to head deeper into the sewers and eliminate Master Splinter's gross cousin, Mohawk Chris. After he shaved his head and lost his Mohawk power, another shit rat, witness to my victory, offers me an allegiance, which I decline and offer him instead the end of this whip, which he graciously accepts. I head back to Blighttown and kill the giants to gain access to the first of 3 shitty DLCs. With access granted, we head to Shulva, the Sanctum City. After a very thorough, thigh-punching, ball-crushing 2.5 hours in the Sanctum City, I decide to end the first session there. The next day, I wake up, mentally sore and hungry for more. Specifically, more games that don't suck, with DLC that doesn't suck, preferably. Unfortunately, I must continue this quest, picking up with the Duke's Dear Freya, which thankfully was easy peasy, kill all giant spiders easy. With most of the easy bosses and runs done, the amount of fun this game gives is drastically declining, especially in Iron Keep. What a hellhole. After heading back to Majula, I realized I had enough stats to dual wield the whips. I feel bad for those who don't get to hear that classic whip sound effect over and over and over again. Smelter Demon is a hot breath loser, and Iron King is just a big red crybaby. Rest in shit, Iron Keep. With the corner crying time over, I head to the Broom Tower to see what kind of hands this Ivory DLC has. And it's fair to say that it's got some fucking meaty claws. For some unknown reason, I fumbled the bag against Blucher Demon multiple times. With these multiple failures against a boss I've already defeated, I decide now is the best time to go to Drangleic Castle, where a man named Solaire 1M invades, and I make him play the deadliest game of tag, which he wins. With playtime over, I fight the Twin Dragon Riders. Anyways, with this new OG Smelter Demon butthole armor acquired, I head into Ila Malois, arguably the worst of the 3 DLCs for reasons shown later. While screaming, crying, and pissing my pants, we acquire the Eye of the Priestess, which allows me the honor of gazing upon the stupid visage of Ava, the king's stupid jerk pet. After a few cat scratches, I figure the base game isn't so bad after all, and head back to Drangleic Castle and fight the Looking Glass Knight, who is as tedious as ever. Now with the Shrine of Amana unlocked, we silence the singing of the Demon of Song. With that bitch shut up, we head through the crypt to fight Velchad, the Royal Alpha, who was actually a semi-fun fight. Next, we head back to Strayed, so I can get the Spotted Whip added to my arsenal. And with that, the second session is done. Back to the grind, starting in Aldius Keep, which we blow through to get to the Guardian Dragon and show him how to throw a real tail whip. Yeah. Now, for the most intense, mind-boggling, heart-pumping, dick-sucking fight to be witnessed yet. Wow, truly the most boring of spectacles. Thanks to whatever the fuck the ancient dragon did, I can now acquire the giant souls, starting with the Giant Lord. With the giant souls acquired, I put this senile old man to sleep, and with this amazing new feeling of beating up old people, I use this energy to summon an AI punk to help me fight the gangbangers. Keeping the streak alive, I take on Alana, the squalid queen, and beat her first try. Definitely not lying. I would never. Last of this sunken turd DLC is Sin, the EP dragon. Now he lies eternally EP, and we get the first crown, the crown of the sunken king. Yeah. Moving on to the next DLC, we take out the Bluey demon and head for the Fume Knight, where he clapped my cheeks 10 times back to back. With my cheeks raw and the Fume Knight dead, it's time for the absolute slop that is Sir Alon. With his run being one of the worst I've ever played, and his boss fight being fucking mid, this hemorrhoid of a situation forces me to end the third session. Well, today's the last day before I gotta return this shitty game to Family Video. They're closed. Wait, what do you mean they're closed? They can't be fucking closed. I go there all the time. Oh, God. I'm stuck with this game forever? Ugh! Anyways, it's time to get up and choose violence. With liters of sweat lost to this fucker, I finally beat this katana-wielding asshole. Rest in piss, Rust Bucket. With 2 DLCs down, there's only one icy anus left to jump into. Starting with Ava. Now that she's dead, we gain access to the Burnt Ivory King. But first, we try our luck in the frozen hellhole outskirts. Now, let me break it down for you. Let me just paint you a picture here of what this outskirt boss is of Luddensallen. Let me paint you the fruits of the labors you get when you play this game.
Do you want to know what you gotta do to get to this boss?
Let me tell you a story. To get to Luddensallen, you have to go through the frozen outskirts. You have to go completely blind through the snow, where these horses with horns on their heads, I think they're called unicorns, they chase you through the snowfield, and their moves, they're just almost impossible to dodge because of their tracking. And once you get to the arena, you better not fall. You better look where you're going, Batman, because you just fall right into the hole before you get to the fight. You know, it just isn't right, Batman. Society built this game. Sorry about that. Truly, this has been the worst shit I've ever been through. With enough cock and ball torture to last me a lifetime, I decided to cleanse my palate a little by fighting the throne douches, Nashandra, and Aldia, all for the hell of it. Now technically, the game is beaten, but with these 3 bosses left, this quest isn't over yet. To start the end of this quest, I need help, and I break rule number 3 for the second time. This time, I summon Igor, a man who is 100% macho man in this, and Mountain Dew. With his powers, we beat the Burnt Ivory King. And this crown belongs to you, King. Next is Luddensallen, where I immediately break rule number 3 again. Finally, with these 2 pussies down, it's time for Dark Lurker, one of the most tedious bosses of this whole run. After slogging through the 3 dungeons and lighting torches, I'm then offered the reward of fighting Dark Lurker, only after I defeat the enemies in the dungeon that I entered in. After squandering and choking harder than when water goes down the wrong pipe, I finally managed to not suck long enough to beat this prick bastard. As I rest, I feel although there is still one thing to take care of. And as I take out the lone dragon rider, with the whips this time, I reflect on the similarities between Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, and Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Both sequels are argued to be the best and the worst of their series, although I say they're both probably they both suck. I think they both suck. They're also both pretty goddamn confusing a lot of the times. They also emphasize exploration far more than the previous ones. They've also made some questionable choices, like how they both have hard areas and boss runs in the game, but they also both have some of the easiest bosses in the entire series. Like half the bosses in Dark Souls 2 might as well just be Pinwheel from Dark Souls 1. I mean, what the fuck? Like, what? With both of them succeeding and squandering different parts of their games, they remain the sour sequels, the fans' favorites and the fans' most hated. They are the first sins of their franchise. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this quest, and I'll see you pricks later.